The band Title Fight is a bit of an enigma in the rock world. They're legendary in the emo and post-hardcore scenes. They dropped a couple of great albums, and then they stepped away. Some cite legal troubles. Others say it was the four of them just growing apart creatively. They're highly undocumented, but in an era where every band has thousands of Instagram posts and YouTube documentaries, that's kind of what makes them so cool. They exist mostly in the memory of the people who were there, and in the greatness of the records they left behind. To understand why they matter, you have to look at where they came from. They weren't a product of a big music city like New York or Los Angeles. They were from Kingston, Pennsylvania. When they started playing locally in 2003, they were only 13 years old. By the time they were releasing The Last Thing You Forget in 2009, they were already seasoned veterans of the mythical basement shows. Admittedly, I hadn't listened to them much, but a lot of you guys suggested I check them out. They have this intense chemistry in a way you don't often see. There's a tightness in their timing and their rhythm that you only get from the intuition of four people who grew up together. There's a long tradition in rock history of these sort of vanishing act bands. Groups that make something crucial and iconic and then simply dissipate. Think of groups like Minor Threat, who defined a whole movement in just a few years before Ian MacKaye moved on with Fugazi. Or Operation Ivy, who created the foundation for an entire genre and broke up before their only album even gained traction. Or American Football, whose first record, LP1, became a relic precisely because it stood alone for 15 years. Title Fight belongs to that lineage. By leaving when they did, they perfectly preserved their discography. There is no bad Title Fight era. There is no late career slump. When you look at the Shed and Floral Green era, you see the bridge between two different worlds. They were a necessary link between the raw speed of pop punk and the melodic, sensitive vulnerability of post-hardcore. For the production of Shed, they brought in Walter Schreifels of Gorilla Biscuits and Quicksand fame, as well as Will Yip, who worked with everyone from Braid to Citizen and produced all of Turnover's discography. But then they pivoted. The transition to the Hyperview era in 2015 felt like the band ascending creatively and musically. They swapped out the distortion for chorus and reverb, leaning heavily into shoegaze-esque textures. It was polarizing at the time, trading urgency for depth, but it was really a move of pure artistic integrity. At a certain point, you crave nuance and atmosphere. Title Fight's aspirational shift highlights an interesting truth. Not everybody makes music for the same reasons. This is evident in so many cases in rock history. Look at the friction between John Lennon and Paul McCartney, or the way Radiohead reinvented itself after every album. Sometimes it's a necessary rebirth to kill the version of yourself the fans worship so dearly. Legendary drummer of The Police, Stuart Copeland, once talked about this exact thing.
We make it for different reasons, we make it by different means. Music has a different place in our lives, we listen to it. We listen to it for different reasons.
So what was your reason?
My reason is I want to bang stuff. Now, if you're a songwriter, you have this exotic idea that the purpose of a band and the musicians is all to serve the song.
That's the difference between visionaries and players. Some people make music with a rigid, uncompromising vision of what a song is meant to be. They are chasing an ideal. Others are playing for the expression and simply for the fun of it. Title Fight started as The Players, four childhood friends in a basement. But as they progressed, that visionary spirit took over. What I admire in a lot of musicians, from the legends of rock to the pioneers of hip-hop, is this ability to convey complex, artistic ideas through a medium that is often dismissed as lowbrow. They can take the most complicated, or the most universal and simple concepts, and translate them in a way you can feel. Think of it like a Roman philosopher or a classical artist. We still feel their impact today because they were trying to capture something eternal about us as people. These musicians are our modern-day versions of those thinkers, those who chronicle our specific modern anxieties. Title Fight might be an enigma, but their impact is undeniably etched into those who have heard them. And that's all for this one, guys. If you have any video suggestions, let me know down in the comments. And how impactful was Title Fight for you? Peace.